Excellent. Soon my evil plan to steal an object from a small child will be complete.
You mean you arranged this whole tournament just to steal my Millennium Puzzle?
Exactly.
Did you even consider just asking me for it? I mean, do you have any idea how much time and money you've wasted with this whole facade? People have died because you wanted a necklace. I killed a gay clown for Ra's sake.
Look, are you going to play a children's card game with me or not?
I suppose I might as well.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another deck profile from yours truly, Ezy3lkan. Got some funny music. That's Pegasus singing in the background. So it gives you a little foreshadowing on what I'm about to showcase to you guys. Yeah, it's not a competitive deck by any means, but it is my Toon deck I just like to play and troll for fun. Thought I'd give you guys a little insight onto maybe what to do with your kind of build. So we start off with 3 Toon Kingdoms. These are obviously a staple, a 3 of at the very least. You need to have these. I remember when these first came out, they were very sought after, going upwards of $30, $40, $50 a price. Luckily, I didn't have to pay that price for that. Basically, when you activate this card, you banish 3 cards from the top of your deck face down. This card is also known as Toon World. Your opponent can't target Toon monsters you control with card effects. And if 2 monster you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just banish a card from the top of your deck, making it pretty OP. So let's roll along here. Got the 1 Toon World here. Just a substitute in case you don't draw into your Toon Kingdoms or all your Toon Kingdoms are done. You need at least 1 more Toon World, just so you can play your monsters, or else this deck is pretty much dead. I teched in some weird cards here. So Magic Reflector, basically it puts a counter on a face-up magic card, so that if that were to be destroyed, you can remove the counter instead. So it's a good card to have for the kingdom. Barrier, once again, field spells cannot be destroyed, but a new field spell cannot be activated. You only activate you only control, one face-up field barrier. This is a pretty decent card to protect your Toon Kingdom as well, while this is on the board. Terraforming, obviously to search Toon Kingdom. It's a very good card. You know, I'm just playing 1 of it right now. You could play 2 if you really need to, but this is one of the reasons why you don't really need to. You have 3 search cards in its own for the Toon table of contents. Add 1 card to your deck that includes Toon in its name, so not just Toon Kingdom or Toon World, any card that has Toon involved in it as well. Mimicat. This is one of the more trickier cards to get off, but when you do, it is kind of OP. If you control Toon World and a Toon monster, then you can target your opponent's graveyard and special summon a monster from their graveyard, kind of like Monster Reborn, or from your side, or if it's spell or trap, you can actually set it to your side of the field, which could be OP if it's maybe like a strike or something like that. It could work to your advantage, so it's a decent card. I got Scapegoat here. That is a 3 of as well. The reason being, there's a loophole with some Toon monsters where you can actually use these as tribute to token them, because they actually count as special summons, because these cannot be tributed for a tribute summon, but most Toon monsters are actually considered special summons. So it is kind of a loophole. I can explain that later, but basically this is your bread and butter for basically getting off your DMG girl play, which is the person you want on board at all times. So this is a 3 of, no matter what, and this can save your ass too if you don't really have much, or if you brick. Swords of Revealing Light, and also another card that can save you. It's definitely a card that will, if they don't have Twister or something like that, you can definitely try to draw into better cards, because Toon's very hit and miss. You can get your plays off, or you could, you know, brick pretty hard. So it's very hit or miss. I run this deck at about 50% win ratio. When it's good, it's pretty good. When it's bad, it's really bad. So this is a card that kind of help you stop. Comican, that's a 2 of for now. This deck is 40 cards, by the way. Basically, when you control Toon World, you equip this to an opponent's monster and take control of them. So basically, Change of Heart. And that monster does become a Toon. So you can attack directly with your own opponent's monster. So much salt. A lot of salt. Players hate this card. We got Toon Rollback. Basically, I can target one of my Toon monsters, and they can attack twice in the turn. So this is basically going for that maybe not so much OTK, but basically doing a lot of damage on turn. You could do it for the OTK plays as well, but this is a heavy hitter card, but I only have it at 1 of for now. Shadow Toon, once again, this could be kind of a pretty good card. All you need to do, the requisites are, though, you have to control Toon World, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and you basically burn them for the amount of attack that that monster has. So think if they have a Dark Rebellion on board and it has 45,000 for say, you would burn them for that much. Pretty good. So that's my spells. Quite a bit of spells there. We'll go into the traps. Not very trap heavy. I got Toon Briefcase. Basically this card, when your opponent summons a monster, you can shuffle, while I control the Toon monster, you shuffle that monster or monsters, plural or singular, back into the deck. So say I have this on board and someone just pendulum summons like 5, I'm going to negate that, and they're going to go all back into the deck. So that could very definitely stop boards and be broken. So sometimes I would have this at a 2 of. Right now I have it at a 1 of for now, but it's a pretty good card if you can get the playoff. I got Toon Mask. It does a similar thing. If you control Toon World, you can target one face-up monster opponent controls. Special summon a monster that has the same level or rank and from your deck to field or below. So say they have a level 5 Cyber Dragon, for instance, you can special summon a level 5 or lower monster from the deck. So this is a pretty resourceful card. Just more spamming on the field. I did take out some Toon cards because I was like, well, it's getting to be a little Toonish, but that is the genre of the deck. So I thought I added a Bottomless Trap Hole, Banishment, doesn't target, banishes the monster. It's pretty good. Mirror Force, once again, save you from sheer death. It's pretty good. Now let's get into the monster portion of this deck. Alright, let's get right into the monsters now. So, I got 3 card guards. It's a pretty funny card, in my opinion. Basically, when it's normal summon, you place one guard counter on it, and basically you can remove said counter and place it on any card in the field, and you can protect that. And if it was destroyed, you can use that instead. Basically, this is a card guard for my Toon Kingdom, so that my Toon Kingdom does not get popped that easily. Toon Twister? I don't think so. Necroface. This is my secret tech in this deck. As you know, Toon Kingdom's activation, like I mentioned, you have to banish the top 3 cards, you don't even know if it's monster spells or whatever, from your deck face down. So doing that, you have no idea what you're really banishing, which kind of makes it kind of sketchy. Basically, this card is normal summon. You shuffled all remove from play cards from the owner's decks back in. This card gains 300 attack for each, or sorry, only 100 attack for each of those cards. When this card is removed from play, meaning banished, both players must remove the top 5 cards from their deck. So if this were to get bottomless or something where it removed it from play, then it could do some damage as well for both players. So I kind of like that. I don't mind, I have to banish anyways. So this is a card that actually saves me in letting me put back banished cards that I don't have no idea who they are back into my deck, which can be resourceful. So now let's get into the Toon monsters. We got Toon Mass Sorcerer, pretty straightforward. This is a monster you cannot attack the turn it's summoned. Not a lot of monsters can, only a select few. I will mention the ones that do, though. Basically, if this does damage, your opponent, I get to draw one card. So draw power is very, very good with this card. And if this were to be destroyed while I had Toon Kingdom, I would just banish a card. We got Toon Gemini Elf. This is a pretty good card. It's a 4-star, 1900 as you see. It's basically a pretty decent card. What it basically states is you can't attack, of course, when it's summoned, the turn it's summoned. Basically, when this card inflicts battle damage, your opponent actually discards one card. So instead of drawing like Mass Sorcerer, Toon Gemini Elf is a bitch, and she makes you discard. So I like that. Got 2 of those. Right now I got 3 Cyber Dragons. I'm just testing out different ratios. I'm thinking about maybe taking a Cyber out and maybe putting in another Toon Briefcase, or maybe Comic-Con just because it's a funny card. But you gotta have some monsters in this deck. It's pretty much, you know, like maybe 4 traps, 23 magic, and the rest are monsters. And it's a 40 card deck, so basically you know what Cyber Dragon can do, so if there's no opponents you can special summon this. Basically you don't need Toon World on the field. And here we go, we got my bread and butter play right here. You got the 3 DMG. Don't mind the bad damaged one, I gotta get a replacement for that. But these are able to attack the turn it's summoned. 2k, boom, right to the face. Basically, you increase the attack for 300 for each Dark Magician or Black Magician of Chaos in either player's graveyard. I know that they're coming on the Dark Magician Toon, so I can't wait for that. I'm going to tech that into this card. Basically, this card, you know, having 1 or 2 of these on the field is very immense, and it only takes actually 1 scapegoat token to tribute for it, because it is considered a special summon, right, instead of a tribute summon. So you do use that for fodder, but it's a special summon, so that's the technicality. And I really enjoy beating people to death with Toon Dark Magician Girl. The salt is real. So I'll just put that over there like so. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. This is a newer card, actually just came out of Shiv. Red Eyes Toon Dragon. I actually have a Red Eyes deck that I will be showcasing in a little while that I used to play. It's an up-to-date deck. It's basically the Red Eyes Burn You to Hell deck with my Armades Fusion. It's pretty good. Basically, this card, once again, you cannot attack the turn in its summon, but once per turn, you can special summon 1/2 monster from your hand. So it's pretty OP. Ignoring any other summons, it could open a lot of things up, especially for an extra deck. I do have an extra deck, but I'm just not going to showcase it right now, just because I find that you don't really need to be using your extra deck if you're playing Toons, because you want to have Toon Kingdom's effects to basically buff you and protect you for anything you're going to encounter or find that's going to cause you trouble. Last but not least, I'm bringing out the big boy, my Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. I got this when I was a wee fella. I've had it since Metal Raiders, so maybe like 10 or 11. This is one of my hands down one of my favorite cards I've ever had. I still have it to this day. Card, 3k beater. You can use scapegoat tokens to tribute for it. You can use Red Eyes Toon Dragon to special summon it. It's pretty OP. I like it. But yeah, that is my for fun Toon deck. I did add some secret text here, like you got the Necro Face and Card Guard. You also got Field Barrier. You know, certain cards that would help you in some certain situations, you know. So that's my deck. Follow me for more deck profiles and hit me back and hit me in the comment section below and let me know if you ever made a Toon deck in the past or present, or if you have one currently. Let me know what you have in your deck. I'm interested as well. This is just a deck I have put together for quite a while, but I just been adding and taking cards away. It's definitely could have a little sprinkle of this, little sprinkle of that, but I try to stay true to the Toon support that came out in the past couple of months here, 6-7 months in the past, right? When Dragon Age Legends 2 came out, you know, everyone was wanting those kingdoms. I even bought a box just to get a kingdom, and I did pull one luckily, but everything else was kind of crap. But yeah, that is my Toon deck, so hit like, hit subscribe, and that was me, Eric Ezy3lkan's deck profile. Take care, guys. Keep it right and keep it tight.
Where do these guys get all their ideas? Ooh, I guess he didn't appreciate my hospitality. And I do have such special plans in store for Yugi today. Plans I hope he'll find as entertaining as I do.